Understand first that the concept of next level living is not as popular as people think it is. I read a book years ago called Good to Great by Tim Collins. Good to Great. And he talks about, he analyzed several different organizations. Walmart was one of them, and but several different major organizations and corporations. And he wanted to find out what was the difference between those that were considered good and those that were considered great. Now here's how powerful it is. I've had good macaroni and cheese before. I've had good macaroni and cheese. But I've had great macaroni and cheese too. And the problem with good is good until you experience great. It's good, it's suffice. In fact, when you start thinking about average and normal and mundane and everyday, it should irk you to some degree because you're so spectacular, you're so awesome, that there should be something in you that craves something greater than what you already have right now. I'm not saying don't be grateful for what God's given you or what you've experienced in life and the blessings. No, count your blessings, but while you're counting, calculate some more. So when you start talking about good, good is average. Average is simply the best of the bottom. That's all average is. I mean, if you think about a good friend you have and a great friend, there's this huge gulf between them. And the bridge between good and great is reserved for people who are going to discipline themselves to produce more in their life. So when we start talking about next level living, we start understanding the difference between good and great. And there were some principles that we came up with. So the first one is, the first thing you have to do is acknowledge that where you are is not the greatest place. I call this divine discontent. You have to start looking at things and saying, you know what? It could be better. The worst thing that can happen is you start getting an itch for something greater. And you go to work tomorrow, and you're sitting there, and you're looking around, you're like, you know what? I got a degree. I'm going somewhere else. I'm smart enough to make this company money. I'm smart enough to start my own company. So there's this thing that happens to you when you start acknowledging that where you are is not the greatest place. Okay? Number two is you have to make a decision of quality on what to do with that information. Because here's the thing. A lot of people realize they can do better. Most of them don't. You just think about it in your own life, and I've done it too. Think about how long you stayed in a relationship that really wasn't the healthiest for you. Just because it was easier to come home to that person than it is to actually be by yourself for a little while until you find someone that treats you like you deserve it. How easy is it to stay at a job for 10, 12 years that you cannot stand? I mean, it's like to live with you on your way to that job is misery. I mean, I see people, I ride the train to work, I park up by the train, and they're sitting on the train, and they cussing by them. Nobody with them, they just cussing. They just walking and cussing, mad. That's why people are pissed off in road rage and traffic and all that stuff. People don't even want to go to work. There's no accidents on the scoop hill. They just sitting in line. They don't even want to go to work. There's no reason why the traffic shouldn't be moving. It's not moving because they don't want to go where they're supposed to be going. Imagine what would happen if you got up and you loved going where you were going. Imagine if you worked for Orchid Blue like Chastity. And the other day I was going to get my hair done, and she bust in like, she bust in like she was so happy to what's up? I said, that's great right there. That's somebody that is appreciative and knows what they're doing. She has some